Okay, so I was just thinking of like what I think urges are in a way, because it's like if you think about what an urge is, it's like whether it's you want to masturbate by yourself or you want to do it with someone, you know. The reason the reason you want to masturbate or have sex is because part of your brain thinks that you are going to create a human being, a baby. That's why we have a sex drive, is because we want to keep the human race alive. So that's why, and that's like a priority for our bodies for some reason. That's why the sexual urge is so powerful, because apparently we gotta learn from our bodies. It's like it's very important to keep the human race going, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? It's important. It's the most important thing, because sex is the most important thing. It feels right. That's why it feels amazing. So, but we're masturbating. We're not doing that. So it's like, okay, well, we do no fap. We start trying to fight urges, even though we're just fighting like a natural tendency to procreate. Yeah, but masturbating isn't procreating. I just said that. Yeah, but you gotta think like, maybe our body, urges are not, like, you gotta learn from what an urge is, like, it's not all, we fight the urge too much and we demonize it. I think that's a huge mistake. We have to embrace our urges and learn what they mean. It's just like, you know, if you're someone that like kind of like believes in reincarnation, you know, then the idea of like procreation being the most important thing would make a lot more sense. Because why the fuck would you care about creating a baby that lives after you die? When you're dead, you just rot in the ground, right? And you're no more. So why should you care unless you were somehow able to live on past death and possibly reincarnate into your kid's kid? I saw that in a movie once. I know it's just a movie, but it just made me think like this guy's sister had a baby, or wait, so he died, and then the girl was pregnant, and he became the baby. He became his sister's baby. Now I know it's just a movie, but it makes you think, dude. It's like, like where we were just gonna like, be one of those babies. That's why we want to do it so much, and experience a new life, right? Anyways, regardless of the fact, urges are your brain's way of saying, I want to procreate. So if you think about like spiritual enlightenment or even obtaining no fat benefits, is like basically these benefits people talk about, depending on how far you are into the streak. These benefits can be considered the path to spiritual enlightenment. You know, so yeah, urges, man. They're great teachers. I remember when I had my first orgasm in my chest, and there was no orgasmic feelings in my balls or dick. It was all in my upper body, and I was like, but hold on, how can it be? Wait a second, how can it? I thought it could only be in your dick. Well, apparently not. You can experience orgasms in other parts of your body, and it really makes you question like, what the fuck is going on, dude? You know, like how do you feel this shit? It's like it's a hint that there's something big that we do not understand happening out there and inside of us too. So, anyways, back to no fappers. When you're fapping every day and you're not trying to stop fapping, it's just normal part. You kind of like it. It's like you don't really care. It's not bad to you, but once you start no fap, all of a sudden urges become bad to you, and you start demonizing them and put them in a box and say that's bad. So then whenever you feel an urge, you're like, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. I can't feel that. It's like, but no, it's like that urge is like, that's your sexual energy. That's your life force. That's your desire to create love in the form of another human being. that you might reincarnate into. So it's like, urges are something you need to feel deeply inside of you. And if you feel like there's a chain of consciousness within yourself. You have all the chakra system. Boom, boom, this one, that one. And the very lowest one is where you feel your sexual energy. It's right where your dick and balls are at. Your root chakra. That's not where sexual energy emanates from. It actually emanates from the one above the root chakra, which is the sacral chakra. It's right above your balls, but it's right below your belly button. And that's where sexual energy comes from. But we're used to just like drawing sexual energy from that area into our lower chakra, which makes us horny and lustful. And yeah, so basically what I've noticed is that when I'm looking at, like, I tried my best not to check out girls anymore. Like guys like look at girls' bodies and body parts. Especially if you're going to the gym or going to yoga, it's like you can't avoid that shit. It's gonna pop up, and I'm only human, dudes. I was doing good for a while, but then after a while, I started looking again, and then some weird shit started happening. I would get these tingling sensations down there, but since I'm so into my spiritual practices, such as in sexual transmutation practices, such as meditation and yoga, and just present awareness in my everyday life, and just being conscious of your feelings and your thoughts and emotions and how they relate to how urges make you feel. So I noticed I would look at this girl with this nice figure, and I would be like, whoa, that's a nice figure, and I would get the tingling sensations down there, and then like, but since I'm so used to like transmuting energy, it's like it almost like flowed up, like it didn't stay down there, like I didn't get a boner, I didn't get horny, I didn't want to fuck or anything. It wasn't like that. It was like, it was only that for a split second I was like, oh my god, that girl's body is so high, and then like, then it was just like, sure, and it started like powering my upper chakras more, and I started feeling more vibrant and alive and happy and less lustful, and it was weird. It makes you think like we shouldn't be demonizing urges, man. We got to stop fighting those urges, because fighting the urges is like you're fighting off your benefits, dude. Because like that's the sexual energy. That's where your urges reside. Is the sexual energy are your urges. So if you're fighting your urge, if it's like when you're have an urge, your natural tendency is to like avoid it at all costs. Like stop feeling it. This is bad. I can't feel the urge. This is bad. Urges are bad. No, I can't feel an urge. And you're disconnecting yourself even more, and that usually ends up in a relapse. I found that when I let myself try to relax, as hard as it is, because the last thing you want to do is feel an urge, because then it'll be very tempting, right? That's the thing. It's like, I get it. You don't want to allow yourself to feel the urges because you think it'll make you more tempted to do it, which can be true, but it's like, you can't be fighting your urges anymore, man. You're never going to like transmute the sexual energy. You know what I mean? If you just are always fighting it and you're always afraid of it. You have to be fearless and embrace that urge. Because from my experience, the second I started embracing my urges, and even to the point where I let myself get a boner, and like when I'm by myself, and I would actually allow myself to enjoy the feeling of not to go touch myself, but just allow myself to feel the arousal, and actually, and allow myself to have an erection, which is like, no, you can't do that. You gotta fight the urge, and you gotta fight the urge. You gotta push on, man. You gotta stop with that mindset. It's gonna fuck you up. Trust me. I'm not trying to be judgmental or anything. I'm not trying to like, no, I'm just saying this is what worked for me, man. And this is what makes NoFap easy for me now. Is to just embrace your boners, guys. I know it's hard. No pun intended. But you gotta embrace them, man. And you know, if you're doing your meditation and yoga and sexual transmutation, whatever, or maybe you do like kundalini, like meditation, energy stuff. Maybe you do stuff like that. But you have to feel urges, dude. When you feel urges, that's a very crucial time to be conscious and aware. I always get Now I get excited when I have urges because I'm like, oh boy, sexual energy, time to transmute that shit and better my life. Most guys, they are like, fuck urges, I hate urges. Every time they get urges, they're like, oh fuck no, shit, my benefits are gone. Because I'm feeling urges. You know what I mean? Like when you get urges, usually you don't feel benefits much. You kind of like, when you get an urge, it feels like someone unplugged the plug and now your benefits are gone and your mind just kind of goes like, it powers down. It feels like that. You literally feel like you got stupid for a second when you get the urges. So it's understandable why people would hate urges. But you gotta stop fighting them. Gotta embrace that urge. So that when you embrace an urge, your consciousness is on the sexual energy. And then when your consciousness is there, your consciousness is like a channel. Your focus, your awareness is like a tube. And like if you think of the sexual energy, it's like water. It's like if you're putting the tube down there, your awareness on the sexual energy, which is in your boner, because that's how it's manifesting in the form of a boner, it could travel up the tube. But think about it, man. If you're not being aware, if you're going like, no, I'm not gonna be aware of the urge, the tube is not going down there, and then the energy can't travel up, so you're gonna fucking masturbate because you have to. That sexual urge is strong. It's the most powerful energy out there. Of course you're going to relapse, dude. Because it's not going nowhere. Or you're going to have a wet dream, or it's going to you're going to fucking relapse, dude. I'm telling you. You have to stop fighting your urges, man. And yeah, it takes practice and courage, and it's hard, no pun intended. But, you got to put your awareness down there. You got to put the tube down there so it can flow up. So the water can flow up and water the garden in your brain, dude. Give you the benefits. You know what I mean? I know it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, this shit worked for me, man. This shit fucking worked for me. So please trust me. I know it's hard, but think about it. If you've been doing NoFap for a while and you're fighting urges and you keep relapsing, maybe it's time to try something different, right? Because that is not something that seems completely like obvious, like you'd want to do that. So think about it, man. Maybe the thing that you're doing is not working. So maybe it's time, if you've been doing NoFap and you're frustrated and you're just, I can't do it, it's too hard, I just try to fight the urge and fight the urge. Try to not fight the urge for once and try to see how how it feels. I always felt more relaxed when I would let myself feel my boners. But that's only the first step. Once you get used to feeling that, once you put your awareness down there, try to lay down somewhere like on your bed, on your floor. If you're having a really strong urge, try to breathe deeply. Relax everything. It's really hard to relax because when you're feeling the strong urges, everything tenses up. And the last thing you're able to do, it's easy for me to say this now because I'm already relaxed, but when you're urging, it's hard to feel relaxed. But try. Try to breathe, relax, feel the urge, and then try to feel a different part of your body, like your heart, or you just try to feel a different chakra, right? While you're also at the same time feeling the sensation down there, and then it will be able to travel up. It takes practice. It's not gonna happen. Some people will be able to do it right away. Some people took me a while, but I always felt better when I did it. So, and I found when I focus, it's a very simple, way to think about it. It's just feel a part of your body that's here. First, feel the urge, relax, try to feel that energy down there while at the same time focusing on a different part of your body, such as your heart. And one day you're just going to start feeling like aroused in your chest. It's going to feel amazing and it's going to blow your mind because you're like, wait, it feels like I'm masturbating my chest. It's almost like there's a dick in your chest and you're fucking stroking it. That's literally what it feels like. It's so weird, but it fucking works, man. Give it a shot and tell me how it works for you. Please, I want to hear this. All right, you guys have a good day.